So I asked you guys what you struggled with when it came to fat loss. The majority of you voted how to reverse my slow metabolism. So that's exactly what I'm going to cover in this video. But there may also be something else that's happening, which is the reason why your fat loss is stuck. So make sure to watch this entire video till the end, because I'm going to break it all down in detail. If you're new here, my name's Neil, and I've been a men's fat loss coach for over 10 years, transforming my own body multiple times throughout the course of my life. And I've also helped guys like this lose over 20 pounds of fat in the space of 3 to 6 months. So the first thing I want to say is that most of you watching this most likely don't have a slow or broken metabolism. A slow metabolism can only occur in certain conditions. So the first way is severe calorie restriction. So eating too few calories or very little calories for an extended period of time, meaning 6 to 12 months minimum, can make your body conserve energy by slowing down your metabolism. The second way is very low muscle mass. So muscle burns more calories than fat, and a lack of resistance training or long periods of inactivity can lead to muscle loss, which again slows down your metabolic rate. And the third way is hormonal or medical conditions. So we have things like hypothyroidism. So an underactive thyroid can slow down your metabolic rate significantly. And then we also have insulin resistance. So this makes it harder for your body to burn energy efficiently. So these are really the only ways in which you can have a slow metabolism, meaning under 1500 calories. So if it's not your slow metabolism, then why is your fat loss stuck? Well, I'm going to explain to you using this visual. So this is you, forgive me for my rubbish drawing, and this is your metabolism. So 70% of your metabolism comes from something called your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. So 70% of the calories you burn on a daily basis are coma calories. This involves things like sleeping, digesting, farting, coughing. So these calories you can't really control. Your body just burns them every day by your organs working all day. Next, you have your NEAT. Your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So these are the movements you do throughout the day. So things like fidgeting, walking, me writing on this pad. And this makes up 15%. Next, you have thermic effect of food, or TEF. This is basically your body just digesting food, and this accounts for 10%. And the last bit is depressingly low, which is 5% of total calories burnt, and that's exercise or EAT. Exercise activity thermogenesis. This is 5%. And this is basically you training and you doing things like resistance training, your exercise. So this is why doing things like cardio or HIIT training is a pretty poor strategy when it comes to fat loss. So your metabolism is not slow. You just got to understand how this all works. And most people don't, which is why they believe their metabolism is broken. So now let's say this is you eating in a calorie deficit with your latte from Starbucks and a protein cookie, which probably equals around 800 calories. So your TDEE, which is your total daily energy expenditure, and this is the amount of calories your body burns on a daily basis. Let's say this, if you use a calorie calculator, equates to 2,400 calories. That means your metabolism requires 2,400 calories to maintain your current body weight. So if you went into a calorie deficit, and a general rule of thumb, 20% is a good place to start, that means 1,920 calories will put you in that deficit. Oh, but Neil, I've been eating 1,700 calories a day and it's not working. Well, remember these little things, they will add up to a big amount over time, and not even factoring in the binging you may do on the weekends, which will completely offset this deficit. So your metabolism most likely isn't broken, and it's not because the math ain't mathing. There just probably are a few things that are going wrong. The first one being accuracy. Most people just simply aren't accurate enough when it comes to counting calories, and research shows this. Even trained professionals underestimate the calories by 30 to 50%. Second one being that you're not cutting hard enough from your baseline. So you want to make sure your calorie deficit is at least 20 to 25%. Just taking 100 calories off isn't going to do much. And the third, final one is that your body needs time. So I recommend a minimum of 8 to 12 weeks. If you're not giving your body this at least this much time, then don't expect to see any significant results. Now, if you aren't doing all of these things the right way, then you're going to lose things that you don't want, like muscle, motivation, and metabolic health. And doing this the right way isn't just simply eating less and moving more. There's a lot more to it. You need a proper plan and good strategy to execute on. But let's say you're doing everything correctly, and it really is the fact that you have a slow metabolism. So what do you need to do? Well, I'm going to show you, but first let's talk about what happens when you have a slow metabolism and why it's a big problem. Having a slow metabolism doesn't just affect fat loss, it also affects how much muscle you can build in the long run. And a slow metabolic rate is considered to be under 1500 calories for men. Now let's say your TDEE is 1800 calories per day. So that means if you want to be in a 20 to 25% deficit, you need to be eating around 1500 calories per day. And honestly, that's not a lot of food. And the problem here is that this number right here, your TDEE, is going to get lower over time because as you drop weight, your metabolism also slows down. So that means in order to lose fat at the same rate, keep losing fat at the same rate consistently, you're going to need to drop calories even further. So you might end up eating around 1200 calories by the end of your cut. You could be eating a very low amount of food, which is going to be a huge problem because then you're going to get burnt out, and this is not going to be able, you're not going to be able to sustain this because you're going to have so low energy, you're going to feel like crap. And then you're going to go back to eating the way you were before because you can't take it anymore, which could be around 2,500 calories a day. And you're going to have a massive surplus. So then all the fat that you lost, you're just going to gain back. And this is just going to continue in a cycle. And this is what happens to a lot of people when they have a slow metabolism. And this is a very vicious trap to be in. So you want to try and get yourself out of it as soon as you can, because you're not going to be able to get to and sustain a low or healthy body fat percentage. So what are the options then, and what do you need to do? Well, there are two ways on how you can improve your metabolism. The first way is the long way, but it is required for longevity. And that is to increase muscle mass and movement. So muscle tissue is metabolically active, meaning it burns more calories than fat at rest. 1 pound of muscle burns approximately 6 to 10 calories per day. So if you add around 30 pounds of muscle, then you could be burning an extra 300 calories per day. But obviously that's going to take quite a long time, maybe 2 to 3 years. And that's why this is the long way of doing it. But now if you also increase your movement, so your NEAT right here, then along with increasing your muscle mass, you could be actually potentially burning an extra 500 to 1,000 calories per day after 2 to 3 years, which is a huge amount. If your TDEE is around 1,800 calories, that means you could be then burning around 2,500 calories potentially after just a couple of years. And that's going to make a huge difference, because then when you go into your fat loss phase, you're going to be able to eat a lot more food, and you're going to feel better, and you're not going to get burnt out. So it's going to make a huge difference to how you lose fat. You'll be able to lose fat much more efficiently. You'll be able to go into a bigger deficit and still eat more food. Now this can really change how your body operates, and in the grand scheme of things, this is really what you want to do. But how do you actually go about building and increasing your muscle mass over the next 2 to 3 years? Like, what does your nutrition need to look like? Well, I'm going to show you right now. So, using this graph, let's say your TDEE is 1,800 calories a day, so your maintenance level. Now, in order to build muscle mass, you need to be eating at your maintenance level or just slightly above. So possibly an extra 100 calories above. So you can either eat at maintenance or 100 calories extra every single day, and you do that over the next 2 to 3 years. Now your maintenance level, your TDEE, this number right here, will increase over time because this is your metabolism. So it will increase over time very slowly. So then you'll need to adjust the calories you eat very slowly to match that. That's how you're going to build muscle mass without putting on any fat, just by eating in a slight surplus or just at maintenance level. So this is the first way of doing it, which is the long-term approach. Now the second way of doing it is the short-term approach, and it's what I like to call metabolic priming. This basically means raising your metabolism to a high level so it's primed to lose fat more efficiently. Metabolic priming generally refers to preparing your metabolism, your hormones, and your lifestyle for a successful fat loss phase. The goal is to make your body more resilient and reduce diet fatigue before you start. So an optimal priming phase generally lasts around 4 to 8 weeks, depending on your starting point. And core strategies include things like increasing calories gradually. So you want to work up to a reasonable maintenance level, so anywhere between 12 to 15 times your body weight in pounds. And a way to do that, so for example, if you're a 200-pound man and your maintenance level calories is 2,000, then you want to try and increase that to above 2,500. And a way to do that is to add 50 to 100 calories every single week for a period of 4 to 8 weeks. And next is prioritize resistance training. So you want to train anywhere between 3 to 5 times per week, and you want to focus on progressively overloading to build strength and to build muscle. And then you have to optimize your recovery. So focus on your sleep, get anywhere between 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep, and manage your stress levels. You also need to stabilize lifestyle habits. So consistent meal timing, hydration, and fiber intake. Get into a routine that can carry you into your fat loss phase. And finally, you have to monitor your biofeedback. So track resting heart rate, training performance, energy, mood, stress, everything. Enter your fat loss phase once those markers are stable or improving. So metabolic priming does work when someone is entering a fat loss phase from a place of metabolic suppression. And the most optimal way is not to overcomplicate it. So build habits, restore calories back up to maintenance, train hard and recover well. Then when you do cut calories, your body is in a much better position to burn fat while preserving muscle and energy. But before doing any of this, first check if you're doing everything down to a T of what I talked about in the first part of the video. So if you're tracking calories accurately, your deficit is sufficient enough, and you've given it enough time. If you've done all of that and you really do believe that your metabolism is just slow, then my advice would be to go to a specialized clinic to check for this. And if your metabolism is under 1,500 calories a day, then use this method to bring it back up to a reasonable maintenance level. So that's it, guys, and I hope this video helped some of you and made it clear to you why you're stuck with your fat loss. And if you find my videos useful, then don't forget to subscribe and go watch this video next. It's the simple way to get to 10% body fat.